Hi guys, my name is Essence, and today I am coming to you with my Reading Rush TBR and my Reading Rush tag questions or quotes or something like that. So the first one is, how is your reading going while staying at home? My reading is going pretty good. I have my TBR cart over here, and I have 62 books on my TBR, and I'm trying to get it under 50 books. And with my Reading Rush TBR, I hope I can finish all my books for the Reading Rush so I can get my TBR at least under 50 books. The next question is, where have you been reading at home? I have been reading in my room, in the living room, and in the kitchen. So my favorite place to read is in the living room and the kitchen. I don't really like to read in my room because, it gets kind of boring sometimes, just when you're alone in your room. So I like to be out and about, like out in the living room and in the kitchen, reading. Best book you've read during isolation. And if you hear my voice cracking, that's because I'm kind of sick. So yeah. The best book that I've read during isolation was Legendary by Stephanie Garber. And that book seriously had me on the floor. Like, that book in particular, out of all three books, I haven't finished finale yet, but out of all three books, it's the best book so far. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Like, it was the best. I listened to it on audio on Libby. If you guys don't know what Libby is, it's an app created by the Springfield Springfield Library. Well, not just the Springfield Library, but you can get it on your phone, and you can download audiobooks and ebooks on it. You can borrow them from the library. So the next question is, what's your favorite feel-good book? My favorite feel-good book is The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicole Yoon. Once I read The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicole Yoon, I fell on the floor in tears. At that last page, my whole eyes were red because of tears. If you want a light-hearted book full of love, compassion, and just happiness, I would really recommend that book. The next question is, a book you wish you could buy or borrow from the library. And that book is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've been wanting to get that book from the library for forever, and I finally found it on Libby. So, it's on hold right now, but once I get it off hold, I'm gonna listen to the audiobook, and I'm gonna do my review for it, and I hope it doesn't disappoint me, because I really want to love it. I really do. And I also want to get the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, because I want to read that too. I think it's also by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The next question is an author you want to shout out during this time. An author that I want to shout out during this time is Stephanie Garber. And, I love her books. Like, the Caraval series, I love. Like, the first two books. The second one is my favorite, but I also like the first one too. Stephanie Garber writes some really good books. Like, I love her writing style and her, the way she writes. Just, it's so beautiful. And I just want to give a shout out to Stephanie Garber for writing the Caraval series. The last question is, what is your Reading Rush TBR? And that is where I show you the four books on my TBR. The first one is Still in Heaven by Elizabeth Scott. And I don't know what this is about, actually. I would like to go into this blind, not knowing anything. But telling from the cover, I think it's gonna be a really fun book to read. But I think it's also gonna bring me into tears too. Telling from the cover. The next book that I have is one that was made into a movie, and that is 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott with Mickey Daughtery and Tobias Eichnis. For the first time, I feel the weight of every single inch, every single millimeter of the 6 feet between us. I pull my sweatshirt closer to my body, trying to ignore the fact that open space, it will always be there. This book is about 2 main characters, and they both have cystic fibrosis, but the male main character has I forgot what the male main character has, but it's also a type of um, cystic fibrosis. Um, and they go, they, I'm gonna just read you the synopsis. Can you love someone you can never touch? Stella Grant likes to be in control, even though her totally out of control lungs have sent her in and out of the hospital most of her life. At this point, what Stella needs to control most is her distance from anyone or anything that might pass along an infection and jeopardize the possibility of a lung transplant. 6 feet apart, no exceptions. The only thing Will Newman wants to be in control of is getting out of the hospital. He couldn't care less about his treatments or a fancy new clinical trial. Will's exactly what Stella needs to stay away from. But suddenly 6 feet doesn't feel like safety. It feels like punishment. What if they could still back just a little bit of the space their broken lungs have stolen from them? Would 5 feet apart really be so dangerous if it stops their hearts from breaking too? The movie was amazing. I would really recommend you watch the movie. Read the book first before watching the movie. Highly recommend it. The next book that I have on my Reading Rush TBR is one that's also turned into a movie. And that is The Sun is Also a Star by Nicole Yoon. And this book is about two main characters. The female main character has only a day before she gets deported back to Jamaica. And she tries to go to this place to try and get her family to stay in the United States. And the male main character, his mother wants him to date a Korean girl. But once the two main characters meet, they run into each other and they go on this journey, and the male main character tries to have the female main character fall in love with him in just a day. And it is so heartfelt and so it is so wonderful. This is a wonderful book to read. Like, I love it so much. The last book on my Reading Rush TBR is Finale by Stephanie Garber. And I don't have the dust jacket. The dust jacket is right here. Right here. And I'm going to read you the synopsis. It's been 2 months since the Fates were freed from the deck of cards. 2 months since Legend claimed the throne for his own, and 2 months since Tella discovered the boy she fell in love with doesn't really exist. With lives, empires, and hearts hanging in the balance, Tella must decide if she's going to trust Legend or a former enemy. After uncovering a secret that upends her life, Scarlet will need to do the impossible, and Legend has a choice to make that will forever change and define him. Caraval is over, but perhaps the greatest game of all has begun. There are no spectators this time, only those who will win and those who will lose everything. This sounds like it'll be a great book. I can't wait to finish it. So that is all my books for the Reading Rush TBR. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.